All right, we're going to take a look at how to solve polynomial equations with a little bit more complex example. When we're solving these polynomial equations, the goal is to isolate the variable. In this case, I see u on two separate sides of the equation. In fact, it's u squared. So what we're dealing with here is a quadratic. In order for us to isolate u, we first need to collect like terms. So I need to bring 2u squared together with the other 2u squared. All right, so we're going to add 2u squared. The one on the left side will add up to 0. So now what we're left with is just negative 45 is equal to 4u squared. All right, so the goal is always to isolate the variable. So what we need to do is then divide both sides by 4. So now we're left with u squared is equal to negative 45 all over 4. Okay, so we know that in order to eliminate the power of 2, we need to apply the square root. So we're going to square root both sides here. Okay, so we know that the square with the square root inverses, that allows us to bring down u. And what we have here is, and I'm going to break this up into 2. I'm going to leave it as the square root of negative 45 all over the square root of 4. Okay, because in some of these situations, the numerator is, we can simplify, or the denominator we can simplify, right? So by splitting it up, it gives us a little bit more flexibility. You can see also that we need to apply a plus or minus to this. So we need a positive version of this ratio. We need the negative version of this ratio. So what we have is u is equal to plus or minus the square root of 45i. Okay, so I'm going to make that change first, all over the square root of 4, which is just 2. Okay, so we have something that we can clean up. We have the square root of 45. So I'm going to do a little bit of aside work over here so that we can see what the square root of 45 will turn into. 45, if we were to do a factor tree on this, that tells us that this is 9 times 5. And 9 is 3 times 3. This is a pair. Okay, 5 is a prime and can no longer be factored, or has no other factors besides 1 and 5. So square root of 45 is actually 3 root 5. Okay, so that's what I can turn the square root of 45 into. So now what I have is u is equal to plus or minus 3 root 5 I, of course, don't forget the I is still there. It's just getting brought down. Okay, there's I, all over positive 2. All right, so those are my two solutions. U is positive 3 root 5i over 2, as well as u is equal to negative 3 root 5 times I all over 2.